off a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up by, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor, good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our Fanduel and Draftkings NBA slate for Thursday, February 6th. It's a 5-game slate in the midst of the trade deadline, so there's certainly some nerves about it. You just don't know if some of these teams, Chicago, New Orleans, etc., are going to make deals. The Lakers still haven't made a deal. So it really behooves you to keep an eye on the transaction wire. Unfortunately, that Lakers game is a later-ish game. So just lots of things can happen. Especially if you're playing Fanduel where there's no late swap, you're in the Wild West, man. I don't know what else to say. Like that shit with Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson, Jay Crowder, etc. last night. You just don't fucking know what these guys are going to do. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. Every piece of news that I get pertaining to anything in this slate tonight will be on my Twitter feed, so check that out there. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Be part of our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway sponsored by Draft Dashboard. Draft Dashboards where we're going over all of our stats, usage, minutes, hit percentage, history versus opponent, tons of research for all the sports, which saves you a ton of time. You can get access to this tool, the lineup optimizer, mass lineup generator, as well as my player pool that I use for MLB, NBA, NFL when it's there, NHL right now. We have our player pool set every day for NHL. You can get access to this tool by clicking that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. Also, thank you. I usually say this at the beginning. Thank you for all your support. I truly do appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for making me a part of your day. Also, don't forget to check out our XFL video is up for week 1. Really excited about XFL. Put a ton of work into it. I think it does give us an advantage for week 1. Finding out as much information as possible. So that video is up as well. At the end of the video, I'll have a little end screen thing where you can just click straight to that if you so desire to do that. So, I actually got pretty lucky last night, avoided a lot of those late scratches. If it wasn't for Dinwiddie, I had a chance to finish in the top, but still a pretty good night, so happy about that. I hope you all did as well. And keep your eyes peeled, some exciting stuff coming to the Bachelor Pad. Website coming up with sheets you can purchase, cheat sheets, etc. Also, merchandise, logos, we're doing all sorts of shit. Pretty excited, we're getting to work on that. Big shout out to my buddy Jeff for getting the ball rolling on that. I appreciate you, bro. Cheers to you all. I am having a drink this morning. Trade deadline stresses me out, man. It just stresses me out. I don't know. I'm just getting old. Fucking simple things, man. Anyways, let's get started. At the top, we got Damian Lillard. Let's start at point guards. Dame Lillard, 10-3 on FanDuel, 10K on DraftKings. San Antonio, 23rd against opposing point guards. Came back to reality a little bit in that last game with a 40, which we actually kind of predicted on the video. A broken clock is, right twice a day. But Damian Lillard against the Spurs team that struggles defensively against guards. In his last 5 games against the Spurs, only his most recent game did he have less than 51. I think he bounces back, has a big game tonight. Love Damian Lillard. Russell Westbrook, we're still keeping an eye on that situation. He's going to play one of these 2 games, it looks like. This is the front end of a back-to-back for Houston. So he's either going to play tonight and sit tomorrow or sit tonight and play tomorrow. We just don't know yet. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. If he does play, of course, he's absolutely in play. Next, Elf Payton, 6-7 on FanDuel. 7-3 on DraftKings I think is a bit high. Orlando is effective against point guards, 4th in the league against opposing point guards. We do know Elfrid Payton used to play for Orlando, a little bit of a revenge narrative here. He's played against them twice since being traded. He put up a 43 that first time, only a 16 that second time. Of course, he was coming off the bench, just a bunch of freaking nonsense. Has some big upside. He's been playing really well. A 44 and a 55 in his last 2 games. I do like some Elf Payton. Next, Thomas Satoransky. Paced up game against New Orleans. New Orleans is 28th in the league against opposing point guards. Now, Chicago's one of these teams that could start dumping players and trading for assets, etc. So it is something to keep an eye on. But Satoransky will play 30-plus minutes. He's got 40-point upside. In fact, 4 of his last 5 games, he has at least a 26. I love his price on both sites at 5.7 and 5.4. Sign me up for some Thomas Satoransky. Some value guys. Derek White, of course, has 30-point upside. He's 4-5 on Fanduel, 4-3 on DraftKings. Portland is 22nd against opposing point guards. Let me just check something real quick here. Fix the sound a little. Hopefully that might have fixed it a little bit in the middle. I don't know if you guys were getting an echo, but hopefully that fixed it. But I do like Derek White for some value. Rajon Rondo could be interesting tonight. Houston likes to play small, so maybe they play more guards and he gets some minutes. Shake Milton. Unclear if Philly is going to have Burks and Glenn Robinson tonight. I would be pretty surprised if they did, so Shake Milton should continue to start with the injury to Josh Richardson. He's shown some 40-point upside. He's playing 30 minutes a night in the starting role, just scored a 44 the other day. Milwaukee is 12th against opposing point guards. He'll actually start at the shooting guard. I don't know why they're listing him as a point guard. Kobe White, young player, could see some minutes in a paced-up game against New Orleans at 4-2 and 3-8 on DK. Michael Carter-Williams, the second point guard for Orlando. It is a back-to-back for Orlando, but 4-1 on Fanduel, 3-9 on DraftKings. He just put up a 34 yesterday, a 26 and a 12 his last couple games against New York, but there's some minutes there to be had and some upside as well. Let's go to shooting guards. Shooting guard, of course, James Harden at the top. He's 11-5 on Fanduel. He's 12-4 on DraftKings. My goodness, the Lakers are 17th against opposing shooting guards. In his last 5 against the Lakers, he's got a 79, a 76, and a 55, also a 43 and a 49. Obviously, his value is boosted if Russell Westbrook does not play. If Westbrook does play, I could get there on Fanduel at 11-5 because the pricing's so generous on Fanduel. On DraftKings at 12-4, good luck. And I just don't think I would go there if Westbrook is indeed active. Right below that, Zach LaVine against New Orleans. Again, a paced-up game against one of the fastest teams in the league in New Orleans. Zach LaVine is 8-3 on FanDuel, 8-4 on DraftKings. New Orleans is 28th, allowing the third most fantasy points in the league to opposing shooting guards. His last 2 games against New Orleans, a 53 and a 50. Love me some Zach LaVine tonight. I do like DeMar DeRozan against Portland, who's 21st against shooting guards as well. As I scroll down here, some value guys. Josh Hart, 4-7 on FanDuel, 4-9 on DraftKings. He's been playing close to 30 minutes a night. He's got some upside. Chicago, 3rd against shooting guards. They've been pretty effective defensively in the backcourt. He did put up a 30 his last time out against Chicago. Also, if you look in his last 5 games, only 1 game under 25. Josh Hart's been a nice value for us for the past week and a half or so. There's some Laker guys down here who I think have some value. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Avery Bradley. They're going to play the minutes. They're 3-7 and 3-6 on FanDuel. When you look at DraftKings, Avery Bradley will play 20, 25 minutes. Is 3-2. And you've got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope at 3-6. So there is some value to be had there as well. Keep an eye on the Knicks forward situation. Finally getting some confirmation on the Jay Crowder. He is indeed being traded to the Heat. I think we were all aware of that. But keep an eye on that Lakers forward situation. There's a lot of rumors they're trying to trade for Marcus Morris. They're going to have to include 3 or 4 salaries in there because they can't just include Kyle Kuzma's $2 million deal. So the Knicks and the Lakers could be involved in a trade today. It would shock me if the Lakers don't make some sort of move today. So keeping an eye on those players, it's kind of why I marked them. I just want to make sure that I mention that. Small forward, of course, Giannis against Philly. Now, Philly is number 1 against small forwards, but Giannis loves to dominate Philly, and Joel Embiid loves to dominate Milwaukee. These two go back and forth. Huge fantasy outputs against each other. When you look at Giannis's last 5 against Philly, he did have that disappointing 22. But look at the 3 in the middle. A 79, a 90, an 85, and then a 48. He loves this matchup. 11-4 on FanDuel, 11-1 on DraftKings. Love me some Giannis tonight. LeBron, 10-7 on FanDuel, 10-4 on DraftKings. Houston allowing the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing small forwards. More importantly, they don't have anybody on the inside of that interior of the defense. Now, they will have Robert Covington tonight, and they will have Jordan Bell. PJ Tucker's their center. LeBron, the lane to the basket should be wide open for LeBron, Anthony Davis. They should absolutely dominate Houston on the inside. Title of their sex tape. Congratulations, boys. I do like LeBron an awful lot tonight. Brandon Ingram, 8-2 on FanDuel, 7-6 on DraftKings. Chicago, 19th against opposing small forwards. He's been maintaining that 40, 50-point upside, even with Zion back. His last time out against Chicago, he put up a 58. I do like some Brandon Ingram. I think the price for Carmelo Anthony is pretty cheap, coming off one of his worst games of his career. Put up 4 fantasy points in 26 minutes. He's 5-3 on FanDuel, 5-7 on DraftKings. Just feels like in a matchup against a Spurs team who's 21st against small forwards, he's been playing poorly, really struggling with the Kobe situation, as all of us are. I think Carmelo Anthony has a chance to bounce back tonight. Some value guys. If Russell Westbrook sits, then Eric Gordon, I like him a whole bunch. He's going to be playing a lot of that small ball. He's going to see a ton of minutes. He's 4-8 and 5-3. Chandler Hutchinson been starting for Chicago. Paced up game against New Orleans, who's 24th against opposing small forwards. In his last 3 games, he's been getting the minutes, a 33, a 24, and a 26. I do like Chandler Hutchinson. Obviously, my favorite value play at this position is Trevor Ariza. 4-4 on FanDuel, 4-3 on DraftKings. San Antonio, 27th against small forwards, 21st against power forwards, or 27th against power forwards, 21st against small forwards. They're counting Trevor Ariza as a power forward now. Big time upside, is going to play a ton of minutes. Good matchup against a bad Spurs defense. His last couple of games against the Spurs, a 34 and a 25. Checking some news as we're getting it. Trey Burke, Jonah Bolden not at shoot-around, so they could be getting traded from Philly. Solomon Hill is also being traded from Memphis to the Heat. That doesn't affect us for today. Just some stuff to get out there. Thabo Cephalosha, one of the taller guys on the roster, could be some value down here at 3-6 and 3-1 on DraftKings for Houston. Again, they will have Robert Covington today, so that will affect some of that. Let's go to power forwards. Power forward, I love Anthony Davis today. 9-8 on FanDuel, 9-7 on DraftKings. He's underpriced again. Now, that last game out, he was underpriced. He only put up a 26, but Houston has absolutely nobody on that roster with the size or the ability to stop Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis should absolutely feast in the interior of Houston tonight. I like him on all platforms. Zion against Chicago. Chicago allowing the most points in the league to opposing power forwards. He's 7-5 on FanDuel, 7-7 on DraftKings. I do like some Zion. LaMarcus Aldridge, revenge game against his former Portland mates. Portland 29th against opposing power forwards. He has a 53 and a 45 in his last 2 games against Portland. He's simply too cheap. Portland allowing the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing power forwards. 6-6 on FanDuel, 6-5 on DraftKings. I think that's a lock. I really do. Now, of course, LaMarcus Aldridge can pull that 15 fantasy points in 30 minutes bullshit that he poses because he can just be fat and lazy on the court. Hopefully he's a little inspired back in Portland against his former team. I do like some LaMarcus Aldridge. Thad Young, 5-7 on DraftKings, 5-5, or 5-7 on FanDuel, 5-5 on DraftKings. New Orleans is 27th against opposing power forwards. High total in this game of 231.5. Paced up game for Chicago. The transition type game that New Orleans will allow you to play favors the gameplay style of Thaddeus Young. He's playing a ton of minutes, a 35 and a 39 his last 2 games against New Orleans. In fact, 3 of his last 4, he has at least 33 against New Orleans. I do like him a lot. Robert Covington making his Houston debut, should play plenty of minutes. 5-5 on FanDuel, 6-1 on DraftKings. The Lakers are 4th against power forwards. It's a tough matchup, but there is some upside on FanDuel at 5-5. I'm not sure I'll pay that 6-1 price on DraftKings. PJ Tucker is going to be playing center against the Lakers tonight. Good luck with that. I think he's well overpriced. Kyle Kuzma very well may be traded, so that is something to keep an eye on. Just not a whole bunch of value down here that I like. Again, the trade deadline could open up some value. Trades today, etc., could open up some value there, but right now, power forward pretty weak in the value area. At center, at the top, Joel Embiid, 9K on FanDuel, 9-1 on DraftKings. Bounced back from that horrible outing the other day, put up a 46. Like I talked about, he loves playing against Milwaukee and Giannis. His last 4 games against Milwaukee, a 69, a 78, an 81, a 54. Love Joel Embiid tonight against Milwaukee. Hassan Whiteside against the Spurs. He's 8-7 on FanDuel. 8K on DraftKings. Love that price for him on DraftKings. The Spurs are 10th against opposing centers. He put up a 43 his last time out against the Spurs. Vooch, it is a back-to-back, but the Knicks struggle to defend him. They are 7th against opposing centers, but in terms of what they do against Vooch in his last 4 against the Knicks, a 57, 59, 49, and a 48. I like Vucevic a lot as well. Embiid is obviously my favorite at the top of the center position. Then it's a big drop-off after that to Brook Lopez and Mitchell Robinson. Sign me up for some Brook Lopez. 5-5 on Fanduel, 5-2 on DraftKings. Philly is 4th against opposing centers. His last 4 against Philly, 30, 32, 26, 22. The price is right. There's not a ton of options in that area. I do like some Brook Lopez. JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, it just kind of depends on the trades. I don't mind either center just because I don't think Houston can do anything against him. When you look at JaVale McGee, both of their histories, Dwight Howard, his last 3 against Houston, a 45, a 54, to 34. JaVale McGee, his last 5 against Houston, 39, 24, 35, 26, and 30. With the smaller front court in Houston, I do think both of them are viable value play options at center. If Marcus Morris is indeed traded away from the Knicks, a guy like Bobby Portis down here at 3-6 could be really, really interesting if he gets 30-plus minutes. He's got some upside there as well. So that's my look at each position. Again, you can get access to this tool, my player pool, the cheat sheets, the lineup optimizer, etc., simply by clicking that link in the video description below. Try and draft dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do that, how you find my player pool is you simply click on your Watch Players tab over here on the left, or from the home screen, you'll see a Watch Players button. Then you'll see a blue box at the top that says Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks. You click that box, it'll highlight my watched players at the moment. It'll also show you a timestamp underneath of when I last updated the player pool. That timestamp looks awfully wrong because it is not 4:56 p.m., so I'll have to email them about that. Looks about 8 hours ahead right now. I don't know if that's going China time or what's going on there, but it'll have a timestamp there. We'll get that sorted out as well. So now you can put it in the lineup optimizer. You set your exposures in the mass exposure column there for the mass lineup generator, etc. Let's see what they went with here. So they kind of paid down at guard. Michael Carter-Williams, Kobe White, DeRozan, Levine, Cephalosha, LeBron, Aldridge, Covington, and Joel Embiid. Let's make some changes here. Like the value for Josh Hart. I'm not sure I want to go crazy value at point guard there. Probably a guy like Derek White. You can get to Elf Payton there. Now we have 400 to upgrade if you want to upgrade Thabo Cephalosha to Trevor Ariza, which I think makes a whole bunch of sense. And then we can save a little from Covington here. PJ Tucker if you desire, etc. Lots of ways you can go. Click the link. Try it. I think that's a solid lineup there. Let's go to DraftKings. Dame, love Dame, Kobe White, Hart, Giannis, Aldridge, Satoransky, Hutchinson, Carter. That's a studs and scrubs type lineup right there. I don't mind that. Of course, the savings for Anthony Davis I think is absolutely worth it, but I would love the idea of trying to get Giannis and AD, etc. I do love Damian Lillard as well against San Antonio. There's quite a few ways you could go here. Shake Milton for a little bit of savings. Trevor Ariza's down here at 4-3. Then we can start upgrading elsewhere. Again, click the link, try it yourself, create your own lineups, compare them to mine, etc. Lots of ways you can go. I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you so much for your support. Be sure to check out that XFL video up there at the top. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow for our NBA picks tomorrow. Good luck tonight. May the fantasy gods be with you. Pay attention to the trades. Good luck playing on FanDuel. It's going to be scary. Love you all. Appreciate you again. Goodbye, folks.